My brain's ready for Friday.
Okay, 7 o'clock, I'll call this common council meeting for the month of May to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk call roll, please.
Brown. Here. Evans.
Here.
Foodie. Here. Groton.
Here.
Morose.
Here.
Schuster.
Here. Oh, sure. Roll call being taken. First item of business is agenda approval. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
Second.
Motion by Grattan, second by Schuster. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have approved minutes of previous meetings. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Moody, Brown, second by Morose. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have approval of intervening meetings. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Foody, second by Schuster. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public appearances. Jordan, are you on under public appearances, or are we down farther?
Just right on to me.
Communication.
I think I should be.
Yep. We're going to communications.
Okay, I'm going off my cheat sheet. Okay. All right. Anybody in attendance wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications. We have Jordan from R.W. Baird here for a presentation for the $2 million funding for the wastewater treatment plant. Jordan is...
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Thorough and I'm a quantitative analyst filling in for Justin Fisher. He's a director at Baird, which helps serve the city. So we just locked in a $2 million joint electric, water, and sewer revenue ban for the city. Just wanted to discuss the sale results that we got back yesterday. We actually got 4 bids. One was from the Bank of Omaha at a 189 interest rate. So excellent, excellent. The second bid was actually at a 322. So quite the variance, but you guys got an excellent, excellent rate. So it's something to be very excited about. A couple of things in terms of this revenue ban. So it is pledged based on your electric, water, and sewer revenues. So you do have that availability of those revenues to pull from if needed. So bonds will close on June 1st. So this is callable within 90 days of closing. So the city basically told us that they need maximum flexibility in terms of call date provisions. So we made sure that that was noted in the term sheet. So yeah, the first call date is 9/1/22. Final maturity is May 1 of 2025. So 3 years. That is about it. Any questions?
What's a little, well, you can't look into that crystal ball, but naturally, this project is much more than $2 million there. We don't have any idea what besides the outside funding that we get through the Clean Water Act funding and what have you. We don't know how much farther for the balance of this we're going to need until such time comes, correct?
Yep.
This is basically to get us off the ground so that we can start the design phase with MSA and cover their bills. And probably take up to 2 years before construction would actually start. So this is a good thing. We were anticipating a higher rate than this. Justin had kind of shot in the air and he was very excited when I talked to him on Friday morning. But he said, I don't want to jinx it, but he says, I got you a better rate than what I thought it was. But he wouldn't tell me what it was. So anyway, this is very good news for the city to move forward on this phase of it. Utility Commission is fully aware that they can't ignore that upgrade of our treatment plant for too much longer. So another 2 years is probably all we're gonna get out of it before we're gonna run into some issues out there, so timing is good. Very excited to hear that kind of rate. So I guess we can get out of the blocks now, at least. Got some other news, but I don't want to jinx that neither, but how it might help our financial situation a little bit more until we know a little bit more about it from Sensium for sure, so. Any questions for Jordan? He was just kind of the mouthpiece here tonight, I guess, right? But he was just kind of got put on the spot because Justin couldn't make it. Always done well dealing with your company.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to continue on, so. We'll be taking a little action a little later on all of this, so. Appreciate you stopping tonight,
All right.
and I don't know does he have to stay here, Megan, or you can transmit the good news later on, so.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Appreciate it.
Good seeing you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, any other communications tonight? I don't have any. Nothing from the clerk?
No.
Okay, moving on, written reports, building permits, any questions on those? Police department report, Juneau Fire and EMS report?
We didn't approve, we just receiving the bill.
Oh, how did I get, wait, oh, how did I get rid of? Okay, improvement payment of bills, checks for $186,985.56, no electronic vouchers or electronic,
Oh, sorry.
no vouchers, electronic transfers of $119,194.10. There a motion to approve the payment of the bills.
So moved.
Motion by Brown, second by Grattan. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Brown? Aye. Grattan?
Aye.
Evans?
Aye.
Booty?
Aye.
Morose?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Payment of bills have been approved. Now, reports from mayor, I have nothing. Reports from clerk, you have nothing. Moving on, written reports, building permit report, any questions on those? Anything on Juneau Fire and Rescue or Juneau EMS? Seeing none, we'll move on to reports, commissions, and boards. Committees, commissions, and boards. First we have Jeanette.
Hello, everyone. So, I am wearing my summer reading t-shirt, and our official ones that go with our theme this summer have not arrived yet. I was hoping they would have, but our summer reading theme is Oceans of Possibilities. That's why I have a 1/20th scale white shark and a shark costume. Just one of the various things that we're going to be doing this summer, we've done this in the past, is we've asked our library patrons, our community members, to go and find things in the community, come back to the library and enter a drawing for a gift basket. We think building excitement outside our building is just as important and can actually bring them back into our library as well. So we will be doing a Finding Finn program. So what you'll do is I'll give clues on social media. We'll have those same clues in the library, and we'll have those clues also on our website to tell you where Finn is hiding somewhere in the city of Juneau that week. But we're going to have shark sightings every week too. For 1 hour each week, Finn, live, in costume, will be somewhere where this shark is located. And if you find Finn in person during that hour time frame, he'll have a special prize for you. And then if you find this Finn or meet Finn in person, then you are entered into our Feeding Frenzy prize basket drawing that will be at the end of the year. So, or at the end of the summer reading program. summer reading will officially start on Monday, June 6th, but we will be pre-registering in 2 Mondays, on Monday, May 23rd. Pre-registration, we have a few incentives to get people to come out early and do that as well. This flyer is hanging up on our door and it's available on site. We've got special performers coming throughout the summer. We've got a balloon workshop, a Lost at Sea pirate tale-wise gentleman coming in and doing some storytelling, and then we even have Duke otherwise coming with his guitar, tap shoes, and song. So we've got balloons and song and acting and stories, lots of fun things planned with our Oceans of Possibilities theme. I wish I could be coming to you today with an actual title for our Centerfield Cinema movie in June, but we're working with a sponsor and want to make sure that the title that we have is something that sponsor is okay showing. But the Juneau Parks and Rec Department with their director Ashton and myself have been working on finding partnerships, and the second Friday of every month, June, July, August, September, we plan to have an outdoor movie in the softball diamond, just like Mr. Schuster enjoyed last year on his couch. Many of you enjoyed it that evening. So we have a few sponsors secure. If you're watching this online and you'd like to sponsor an outdoor movie, talk to either myself, Janet at the library, or Ashton at Parks and Rec, and we'd love to have you come alongside us and bring this to our community. Final thing for May, we have a master gardener coming to our library on Tuesday, May 17th. Her name is Carol Shirk. If you love container gardening and want to learn a little bit more about how to make that container garden, whether it's a hanging basket or something on your front stoop, you'll want to come to this program. It starts at 6 o'clock. She'll give you advice, and then she'll build one, and one lucky person who attends that will walk home with that built container garden. So I'm just going to pass a few out this way and this way. Take that home, put it on your fridge. Any questions for your library director?
Any questions for Jeanette? See none? Thank
No.
you.
All right, gift for you. Thank you. I always appreciate the time you give me to tell you about the things I love to do.
You are appreciated.
We enjoy it, yes.
Okay, next we have Plan Commission report. David?
Plan Commission did not meet, but I have addresses of streets. There was a question last month as to what we were doing. We're going to seal coat and crack seal 1 North and South Fairfield Avenue from West Oak Grove to West North Street. Asphalt remove and relay would be South Street from South Fairfield to South Main Street. Asphalt remove and relay project, 4W North Street from Western Avenue to North Main Street. Asphalt remove and relay, Jewel Street from Western Avenue to North Fairfield Avenue. Asphalt remove and relay project, North Highland from East Center to end of curb gutter at Wild Goose.
Do you have dates for any of those, when they should start, hopefully be completed?
Let's see. See if it says something.
There's no time,
No
No
dates?
time?
no dates quite yet, no.
Do you know when those
Doesn't
are
say-
set?
It does not say any dates on here.
No.
Because I know Highland, they said they just wanted to have it done by fall to qualify for the
Mhm.
program.
Yep, so those are, part of the capital project, so,
These are maintenance items.
Right.
yeah,
But Highland Street,
that should hopefully be starting soon. We don't have a tentative date for that either.
Right.
that was the one I was mainly interested in.
Yeah.
Kaylee got this list together for me. Very nicely done.
Any other questions for Plan Commission? Moving on, Finance Report, or Finance Committee Report.
We did meet, and we have some resolutions in regards to those. We talked about an installation of a new condensing unit and evaporator for the walk-in cooler at the community center. We did approve that. The one that's there is 41 years old, and have some issues, have been having issues with that. It is working right now, but could go at any time. So we have moved to go ahead and finance that and get that taken care of. It will be coming out of the maintenance budget at this point in time. And if there would be things later that would come up, we would then look at where those funds should come from. We talked about approving the hire of a city custodian trash attendant. Discussion was had on that, and we as a finance committee have approved a $13 an hour, not to exceed $1,000 annually, beginning June 1st for a viable candidate. That actually will be coming under personnel. The dollar amount was set at finance. Ashton came from from our rec department and was asking for 4 benches. Was actually looking for 3 benches, and we have approved benches that look like this to be put in, have been ordered, and her plan is to put them in the spots where you see the red. So right now there's nothing there, and so it would give opportunity for parents with small children to watch their children at the playground. She also requested money for some park signs, and this was not approved at this point in time. Part of the reason is we're wondering if the city wants a logo, and that conversation needs to be had before we do signage. We also asked her to get some additional signs, quotes for us in regards to these, so that discussion will need to be had further should we bring that back to us. We talked about the capital purchase of the air packs and the UTV and trailer from 2021 in regards to our commitment Town and Boat Road and Town Covered. These charges had been passed on to them, but we don't have anything that says we had communicated that to them. So that will be taken up further, look at the agreement that we have with them, and see what is allowed, what is not allowed to be passed on to them. It is used in the service to those communities, but we also need to be communicative and equitable to them so that they know when it's coming. So that is going to be further looked into. Had a discussion on the city attorney's wage and meeting pay. Mayor was going to speak with our attorney in regards to that and come back with us. We're asking that they give us that information, particularly during budget season, so we can plan for it accordingly. We also discussed about hiring MSA to administer the Wisconsin DNR lead lateral replacement grant, and we'll be looking into that further to allow them to do that. And for old business, we need to do some income surveys. And there was to be some discussion further in regards to some land acquisition for the city for one of our road projects. So at this time, we'll go to our first resolution on hiring MSA. Resolution 11, 2022, approve hiring MSA to administer Wisconsin DNR lead lateral replacement grant. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed a need for the City of Juneau to have all lead water laterals replaced as required by Wisconsin DNR, whereas there are grant monies available to help with those costs of the replacement of these lead water laterals. Whereas the Finance Committee recommends to approve hiring MSA to administer the Wisconsin DNR lead lateral replacement grant at a cost not to exceed $5,000, which can be reimbursed through the grant funding. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May, 2022. I move for passage of Resolution 11, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Brown, second by Grattan. Any further discussion? We don't have anybody on staff that can handle this or has the time to do it, so MSA is well versed in this. So this is the best route to go for our community. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Brown?
Aye.
Grattan?
Aye.
Evans?
Aye.
Foodie?
Aye.
Moross?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Resolution 11, 2022 is passed.
Resolution 13, 2022. Approve the installation of a new condensing unit and evaporator for the walk-in cooler located at the community center. Whereas the Public Works Committee and the Finance Committee have reviewed the need to purchase and install a new condensing unit and evaporator for the walk-in cooler at the community center. Whereas the Public Works Committee and Finance Committee recommend to approve the purchase and installation of a new condensing unit and evaporator at a cost not to exceed $6,285 as shown in Exhibit A, using the maintenance budget from the community center. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May, 2022. I move for passage of Resolution 13, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Brown, second by Schuster. Further discussion? Cheryl said earlier the unit is the original equipment. It handles the walk-in cooler behind the bar. Was really set up lousily. I mean, you gotta be an acrobat in order to get to it. I don't know if they're gonna do anything different to make it a little more service friendly, I guess is the easiest thing to say. You're walking a wall above the suspended ceiling, an 8-inch block parting wall to get to this unit. It's close to the walk-in cooler, but it's just heck to get to. So I don't know if they're gonna make any changes on that to make it user-friendly or not, but this is supposed to be a complete package for coolant lines, all new coolant or refrigerant and what have you, so it should be 100% new to drive the unit. Air handler inside the unit is fine yet, so it's just strictly a condensing unit evaporator for the walk-ins. No questions? Roll call vote, please.
Brown?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Evans? Foodie?
Aye.
Grattan?
Aye.
Moross?
Aye.
Resolution 13, 2022 is passed.
Resolution 14, 2022. I'm going to add to this resolution, we have a quote here from the City of Juneau, Department of Public Works for the concrete work to be done underneath these benches. $393.40 is what was turned in by Scott for quote, as these benches will need some concrete slabs underneath them. So, just so you're aware, this is going to be added to this. Resolution 14, 2022. Approve the purchase of 3 benches for the Wild Goose Park. Whereas the Recreation Committee and Finance Committee have reviewed a quote to purchase 3 benches for the Wild Goose Park. Whereas the Recreation Committee and Finance Committee recommend to approve the purchase of the 3 benches from Belson Outdoors at a cost not to exceed $1,936.53, and to approve the concrete work to be done by the City of Juneau DPW at a cost not to exceed $393.40 as quoted. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May, 2022. And I move for passage of Resolution 14, 2022.
Second?
Motion by Brown, second by Foodie. Has that been added to this resolution?
I read it in. I just got it at like 12 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, they've already begun the work a couple, 3 days ago already, so it's all formed up, and it might even be poured as of today, so. So anyway, just for a point of information, yeah, it was formed up or prior to the weekend. Did drive down there and saw it was ready to be poured, so, yeah.
For our Finance Committee, though, he was willing to do it, didn't know when it was going to happen and the cost, so.
All right. You can amend this resolution?
Will do.
Okay, motion and second for resolution 14, 2022 as per amendment. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Brown?
Aye.
Foodie? Aye. Evans?
Aye.
Grattan?
Aye.
Morose?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Resolution 1422 amended is approved.
Resolution 18, 2022. This is the resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of a $2 million joint electric, water, and sewer system revenue bond anticipation. Now, I just want to make a point here. Originally, the estimated interest rate was scheduled at 2.95. So this 1.89, I'm very happy with, very excited with. I would like to move to forego the reading of Resolution 18, 2022, and move for passage.
Are you allowed to do it the first time?
Technically, I'm the first you're supposed to read it, but it's a pretty long one.
Do you want it read?
Well, tell me this, has everybody read it in advance?
I have. What?
I did not.
It was available.
It's available to read.
It's pretty much boilerplate.
Yeah, it is a boiler. I've reviewed it.
You have reviewed it?
And,
I feel better about that
and,
because I have.
and I feel comfortable that it's fine. It's strictly boilerplate,
Okay.
other than tailoring it to the city of Juneau.
Feel comfortable with waiving the first reading?
I do.
It's a resolution,
Right.
it's not ordinance.
Right.
Mac, you're okay with it?
Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
You second?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brown, Burrows.
Oh, I apologize, I missed that. It's kind of noisy over here. All right, sorry. Brown?
Aye.
Morose?
Aye.
Evans?
Aye.
Foodie? Aye. Groton?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Resolution 18, 2022 is passed.
I have nothing else from finance.
Okay, moving on, personnel. Okay.
Okay, Personnel did meet on April 26th. It was a joint meeting of the utility personnel and the city personnel. There was a number of issues that we wanted to discuss together. One was the casual day, and if you remember a couple months ago, we had changed the casual day to wait for a year to get it because we saw an employee that's hired at the end of the year gets a casual day right away. However, we did hear out everyone's opinion at the joint personnel, and it was the considered opinion of the group that we would remove that clause back out of the casual day, and that people will get their casual day upon being hired at the city. The other issue, one of the other issues we talked about was the inclement weather policy that created some confusion on one day. So we have developed a new policy for the inclement weather that I will read, and I think it cleared up a number of questions that arose because of that day. The other issue that was discussed is in our policy, employees can carry over 5 days of vacation, and they can carry it over 5 months from their anniversary date. Going to the new payroll system, this carryover of 5 months of everybody's anniversary date of 5 days of vacation was problematic. And we would, since we're purchased a whole new payroll system, we want to make it as efficient as possible and not have to do more manual calculations. So in that regard, the joint committee felt that we would just have that carryover for a whole year. And the new Cassell payroll system can handle that, and everybody continues to have their benefit. And so that was the consensus of the joint meeting. And so I think that is about it. Now, I am going to start with a resolution about the part-time city custodian, which actually Personnel talked about a whole month earlier, but it had to go through finance. So now it has gone through personnel and through finance. So that will be the first resolution that I will read. Resolution 12, 2022, and I will add the dollar amount, the hourly wage amount, which is not in here, but I'm going to amend that to include that in this resolution. Resolution 12, 2022, approved job description, part-time city custodian and trash attendant. Whereas the Personnel Committee and the Finance Committee have reviewed the job description for a part-time city custodian / trash attendant position, and whereas the part-time position will be paid at $13 an hour and will not exceed 1,000 hours annually and will not qualify for city benefits, and whereas the Personnel Committee and the Finance Committee recommends to approve the job description as shown in Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May 2022. I would move for passage of Resolution 12, 2022.
Motion by Morose, second by Brown to approve resolution 2022 as amended. Further discussion?
I just, people that are not on the Public Works Committee, I just want to bring them up to speed where there was a custodian hired, never called into work. Still was never given an answer why that happened, but just wanted to let the other members know that there was somebody hired. Public Works continued to encourage him to be called in and never was, so this kind of still baffles me.
That individual can apply for this position, I'm assuming.
Well, why would they apply if they were never called in the first time?
That was during the COVID.
They
Right.
still had buildings to clean, there were still programs that were going on, so that COVID is not an excuse. And it was brought up at Public Works to call this individual in, and somebody else said, no, we're just gonna be advertised. Just wanted the committee to know that someone was hired, even though Public Works was encouraged to call them in, he was never allowed to start. Just thought you should know.
Any other questions or comments?
How come on the exhibit, it's got date approved and it's got 4 different dates? Just curious. Apparently it keeps getting approved and
Changes, any changes made to the job description, they keep the dates there as far as when it was originally put in.
Yeah, so originally this started in 95, and then, yeah.
But it was never city custodian trash attendant, is this not a new position?
My understanding it's not. This
The
one's
trash
not been
attendant kind of got blended in with it.
Yeah, so.
I'm thinking that's why
Yeah,
it's
because
up-
city
dates are
custodian
all
was
in there.
cut,
Yes,
it was taken out of the budget. So this is a new position.
yes, you're right.
That will be updated.
The previous city custodian did not attend, or tend to the trash.
Trash dumps.
Okay.
Okay, so we will remove all the dates except for the final one.
Correct.
Okay.
Other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Burrows,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Foodie,
Nay.
Groton,
Aye.
Schuster.
Aye.
Resolution 12, 2022 as amended is passed. Okay, and we move to resolution 15, 2022. Approved to amend Personnel Policy Handbook, 205 Holidays, number 5. Whereas the Personnel Committee and the Utility Personnel Committee have reviewed the Personnel Policy Handbook, Section 205 Holidays, as shown in Exhibit A, and whereas the Personnel Committee and the Utility Personnel Committee recommend removing the phrase, quote, until they have completed 1 year of continuous service. Whereas the Personnel Committee and Utility Personnel Committee recommend that employees receive their casual day the day of hire, and whereas the Personnel and Utility Personnel Committees recommend revising
Number 5, Section 205 holiday as follows. New employees will be awarded the 1 casual day benefit upon their date of hire. Casual days are not considered one of the 10 holidays listed in 205-1. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May 2022. I'd move for passage of Resolution 15, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Morrow, second by Foodie. Further discussion?
Why are we asking for this change? I mean,
Okay, so we thought that somebody was hired late in the year, or it came up because someone was hired late in the year. So you have to take it by the end of the year. Right, so someone's hired on December 20, they get a casual day before the end of the year. Right, so that's how this all started coming up, and so that's why a few months ago, I don't know if you remember, we put in that year.
I remember there was an issue, but it said until they have completed 1 year of continuous service.
No, that's what we put in a couple months ago.
Oh, okay, so we're taking that back out.
We're taking that back out. So what we did a couple months ago, we are just removing.
Okay.
Okay?
One minor typographical change, but it's significant enough, I'll point it out. Toward the bottom it says, whereas the Personnel and Utility Personnel Committees recommend revising number 5, Section 205 holidays as follows, and then in quotation marks it says new employees will be awarded the 1 causal days. So just change that to casual to be consistent with all the other casual.
All right,
And because that's in a main part,
I agree.
try to change.
Will do. Thank you.
Welcome.
And casual days are not considered one of the 10
Got it.
holidays.
I already have it
Right.
down. Thank you.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't they be considered a holiday?
Because holidays, you have to work the day before and the day after, and so
Oh.
there's extra requirements on holidays.
Okay.
So, again, why wouldn't it be a good idea to have them work a year before they get a casual day?
Well, the folks that came to express the utility in particular felt it was very important for recruitment. Felt that, it's not like the city is the greatest paying job, although I think it's adequate. But it helps to keep staff, keeps them happy. And, if you have something, upon initially being hired that you really need to attend, whether, that be a friend's funeral or your child's school event, you would at least have 1 day upon hiring. And so it just helps recruit and maintain employees. That was, and I will ask if anybody else wants to chime in, they can, but that was the gist of
No,
it.
I understand the reasoning.
Well, it's good to ask the
I'm
question.
not certain I agree with it.
Yeah, and, that's fair enough. I think that's why it came up. But, yeah, you could argue on both sides. But the joint committee is recommending we go back to upon hiring.
Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Morrow,
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Brown,
No.
Evan,
No.
Groton,
No.
Schuster.
No.
Okay.
Resolution 15, 2022 is declined, does not pass.
All right. Now we will go to Resolution 16, 2022. Approved to amend Personnel Policy Handbook 214 inclement weather. Whereas the Personnel Committee and Utility Personnel Committee have reviewed the personnel policy, Section 214 inclement weather as shown in Exhibit A. And whereas the Personnel Committee and Utility Personnel Committee recommend replacing the current wording as follows. Inclement weather or other emergency conditions may make it impossible to come to work or it may require employees to leave work before the end of the normal work schedule. Such time off may be charged to unused vacation time or accrued compensatory time. Or the employee may request that that time off be without pay. Department heads may, at their discretion, allow employees to flex their hours during the current work week to avoid loss of hours, provided that the hours worked do not result in overtime compensation or accumulation of compensatory time. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May, 2022. I would move for passage of Resolution 16, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Monroe, second by Brown. Any further discussion on this? No discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Rose?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Evans?
Aye.
Foodie?
Hi.
Gretton?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Resolution 16, 2022 is passed.
I have 17.
Keep on going.
Oh. Skipped right past it. Resolution 17, 2022, approved to amend Personal Policy Handbook Section 205, Vacation Number 7. Whereas the Personnel Committee and Utility Personnel Committee have reviewed the Personnel Policy Handbook Section 205, Vacation Number 7, as shown in Exhibit A. And whereas the Personnel and Utility Personnel Committees recommend changes be made to Section 205, Vacation Number 7, 206, Vacation Number 7, as follows, and I quote, upon approval of the employee's supervisor, an employee may carry over a maximum of 5 unused vacation days past their anniversary date. These days must be taken within 1 year of their anniversary date or cannot be used. Employees shall not be compensated for unused/lost vacation days. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 10th day of May, 2022. I would recommend passage of Resolution 17, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Monroe, second by Foodie. Further discussion?
I have a question. So this year, last year I put 5 days in this year. So I can this year take 5 more days, so it's 10. I can keep building it, or it's a maximum 5? So-
Maximum's
So I
5.
use 4 of them, I can put 1 in next year.
No, it's gotta be used up within a year, so you can't keep adding 5.
Okay. All right.
You might put 5 new days in
Yeah,
from that
right, so
year.
the new year, you might put 5 days. You might always have 5 years carryover, but
5 days.
in the actuality, you're using them 5 days of your, this year's, yeah.
All right.
Kind of keep replacing it if you want to.
Just trying to word it backwards. Like someone else could try, you know? All right.
Any other,
Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Rose?
aye.
Foodie?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Evans?
Aye.
Gretton?
Aye.
Schuster?
Aye.
Resolution 17, 2022 is passed.
Anything else to report, Kay?
No, I think that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, public safety, John.
We had no meeting.
Public Works, Dave, you keep your public works report, huh?
We have no, we did not meet. No meeting.
But you gave all your seal coating projects.
Correct. Right. So as told before.
Cable TV, Jane?
We did not meet, but still looking for, cable TV cameraman.
CDA, we did not meet. Rec committee, they met.
Right? We met.
I couldn't make it, I was at the county level.
All right, we met. And a lot of it has been covered already. We talked about the benches at the Wild Goose Park. Initially, we were going to meet at the Wild Goose Park, but it was one of those really nasty weather days. So the rugged frontier people of the rec department decided, nah, we're not going to meet in the park. And we discussed the signs. We are going to get more information on. We discussed maybe a mutual use agreement. What we have is Dodgeland sometimes uses our soccer fields, baseball diamonds, and it's up to the rec department to prepare them. And sometimes we use their gymnasium for a tournament, but it seems somewhat uneven that they are using more of our facilities than we are using of theirs, and it seems out of balance. So we're doing a little more information about, well, what would it cost just to rent the gymnasium? What might it cost if you wanted to use our soccer field or our ball diamonds? So that's all in discussion. If you have anything to share with me about any interest you have in that, let me know. Ashton also talked about possibly having a drop box at the community center that people, I guess, put their keys in, or information, because she's not always there. And she has the summer program booklets available, and she's going to be trained. She's in Strong Bodies. It's a program for people over 50 and over 50. And she has got funding through, I believe, the ADRC for that. And so she's getting trained for that. So I think that is about it. There's no resolution or anything. Any questions about our rec department? That seems to be going well, and lots of programs. So.
No
Anything?
questions?
Okay.
Moving on. Utility Commission report. Richard?
Sure, we had a meeting. We received applications and selected 2 Dodgeland seniors for this year's Utility Scholarship Awards. We were approved placing an order and purchasing a new bucket truck for delivery in 2024. Our current bucket truck is 20 years old, or is on a 20-year replacement plan, and will be paid for with budgeted monies from the Equipment Replacement Fund. Nick attended a seminar at WPPI, and they talked about what type of support equipment would be needed for supporting electrical vehicles in the future, among other things. The electrical team has finished landscaping along Highland Street where the underground work was done, and meter sockets have been replaced. They will start work on Oak Street from Highland to the dead end in June. The Commission agreed to hire United Electric to replace the meter sockets on East Oak Street. The electrical department's been working on street light replacements and installing breakers on the poles for the Christmas lights. Side note, there's only 228 days till Christmas.
Looks scared.
Peter reported that the DNR did the 3-year water system inspection, and it went well. Planning is underway for financing the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, and we are eligible for some financing through the Clean Water Fund, and Juneau is currently ranked 6th in funding priority. And we continue to be frustrated with the progress on the Sensian contract that needs to be signed. And we're going to invite them to our next meeting, and hopefully we can get this resolved so we can move on with the plant upgrade project. And I see Bob is here, so if he has anything to add.
Any questions, Richard? Seeing none? Moving on, old business, any old business tonight?
Just check with Andy, you're gonna check if Watertown had any ordinances on buildings that got damaged by fire. Did you get look into
They have a
that?
little bit, but they don't have as much as I thought, so they're supposed to email me what they do have. I don't have that yet, but but I'll pass that on for you.
Sure, okay.
But yeah, it wasn't as much as I hoped.
No,
So we'll see what
they still haven't done nothing with that building, so,
they haven't done anything.
nothing yet, no.
Okay.
Still sitting there.
Guess they're under old business, and the city clerk and our contracted engineer, Jason Lau, will be meeting with the Strausman family on Thursday night. Discuss possible purchase of farmland for expanding our Oak Street project. And that's all I have for old business.
You and Megan attended a ARPA funds meeting with the county on the 20th of May. Is there an
Yes.
update on that?
No update.
Pretty much what you're reading in the paper, Dodge County's projects are gonna, I mean, there's over $70 million worth of requests for the 17.4 million that's out there, so pretty much Dodge County's projects are gonna be prioritized, I think, and
Well,
gonna be receiving most of the
I think
funds.
our presentation went well.
Yeah, we did okay, I mean, that.
You know, I mean, I think it went well. They had a follow-up question with me the next day, James Milky did, just verifying how many, residences on Oak Street would be affected by the, you know, the lateral replacements. So I sent that over, but I think they're not planning on making a decision until soon, this month. I will be sure to let you guys know right away when I find out.
Okay.
Crossing our fingers.
Board of Review again is the
23rd.
23rd.
Yeah, then, those funds we're not holding our breath on.
Oh, come on.
There's a lot
You
of
never
them ahead
know.
of us, but.
You never know, maybe I'm crossing my fingers.
Any other old business thing?
Dan, you had mentioned in our finance meeting something in regards to contacting of legal services, who's to contact the attorney or what the policy procedure is. If you'd
Megan's
like to
still
follow.
researching that to find
Okay.
that resolution that we had in place or whatever, so.
Okay.
New business, I did discuss with Andrew here about the distressed property on Kent Street that the gentleman is anxiously waiting an answer on, that he'd like to be able to acquire it, and I guess I'll turn it over to Andrew for discussion here, so.
Sure. I've left about half dozen messages, I would say, with Kim Nass. She's the corporation counsel. And in the messages, I've left a message explaining that it was the city's position, that it's our position that the property should not go from the county to the city. There's nothing in the city's interest to do that. All you're taking on is potential liability. Certainly the city is interested in cleaning it up, but that if she had wanted to discuss it, I'd be happy to discuss it with her. I wanted her to call me back, and also to explain if she can point to any law. I'm happy to look at any authority she has for the proposition that it needs to go this way. I'm not aware of any authority. I did a little research, and I didn't find anything that indicates that a property would go back to anybody other than the entity that forecloses. I've done some foreclosures in my career for banks mainly. Always, you know, the bank gets the property back, or somebody bids at the auction beforehand, or occasionally you're contacted, somebody wants to purchase it, but it doesn't transfer to another entity. And so I've left messages. I haven't had any call back. I've told her I'm anxious to talk to her. I don't know if they're just acquiescing to our position, but we've had no response. So I'm tired of leaving messages, but I can certainly call again, but I've heard nothing. So.
I think the next, Dave, if you want to add the charge, I think, is to contact our county supervisor, Dennis Schmidt, and find out, hey, why doesn't our attorney get return phone calls from your corporate counsel? That might shake somebody's tree a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would it pay to contact the DA's office?
it's not their, you know, the
Well,
DA's
it's not
office
their-
prosecutes if a crime has occurred. There's not a
I
crime
just-
that's occurred here. There's perhaps a toxic situation. Shingles are, I'm sure, somewhat toxic, but there's no crime. The job of the DA is to investigate criminal activity. The only
Just
criminal
trying to think of a power above corporate counsel that we could go to.
Well, they're employed by the county. You know, if they're not interested in pursuing it, they should at least tell us they're not interested in trying to pursue this. But
This being the county.
My
board.
position at this point remains the same. I think there's an advantage to the city of getting the property cleaned up, because of course you want a distressed property cleaned up. But I can't think of any possible advantage you gain by taking that property back, but I can certainly think of potential liability. You know, when DNR goes after an entity for a cleanup, they don't just look at they look at all owners, anybody who's been in the chain of ownership. I don't see why you'd want to be in the chain of ownership. Moreover, I don't see why you need to be. Property generally goes from the entity that forecloses to the entity that receives it, either by sale or, even in this case, possibly gift. But that's where that stands. I haven't heard anything back, but I remain consistent with the same position that I've expressed. I'm willing to keep an open mind if anybody would show me any law to the contrary. I've not seen anything. I don't think the city should encourage me or pay me to do all kinds of research in every jurisdiction in the country to find if there's anything. But I know most things, and I'm not aware of anything here.
They've already gone above and beyond,
So,
It's my opinion, that's why he's
Yeah.
not getting a call back, is because he's asking to see, where does it say in law that it has to go to
There
the
is
city?
none.
There is none, so.
yeah.
So anyway, we'll just try and prod along. Yeah, your question, who does the corporate council work for? You work for the county board. Your
Right.
supervisors and county board
Right.
chairman is their
Contact.
supervisor, so if you contact one of them, that would be
Mhm.
the only leverage we probably have. I don't even
Right.
think the county administrator would really have jurisdiction over this or anything
Mhm.
like that. I don't know,
No.
you could maybe prod something along, I don't know. but-
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Any other new business tonight? Nothing else? Entertain a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
adjourned.
Motion by Schuster. Second by Graham. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. This meeting is closed.
That's the case for the county board meeting.
No bartender license today.
It's gotta be on the agenda
Yeah.
or something.
Well,